Let's get on this started, chat. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Happy freaking Saturday, too. How you doing, Drew? Saturday, man. Get everything together. Alrighty. How you doing, Bubbly? Happy Saturday. Thank you, Huggy Bear. And good. Watch the grass grow. Yeah, best part of Race the World first. Best part of race. Ooh. Watch the Masters. Let's go. Dude, I bet that's exciting. I don't know my ports. Gotta go hoof it. Went out for a nice little walk today and got some coffee. Got some breakfast in me. And then I realized I was really hungry again, so I heated up some more food. I can't wait, Faye. Yep. I think it's coming soon. I don't know exactly when, Prez is going to be that big dog or something like that for keys, but I know it's coming. Oh, my priest got a banger neck. He got the mythic neck out of Crown of the Cosmos, the Abyss neck. And it's already 6 of 6. So, very, very good upgrade. And I didn't put any crests whatsoever into the next slot because, it's not that high a prio. So having a slot that you're done with and an Abyss item, pretty nuts.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what a Balti? Maybe the 3 months. What's going on, man? Happy Saturday. Blessing the Bronze, also a haste buff. Maybe someday, man. Maybe someday. I'm just gonna work down the rest of this real quick. I want to try Inner Flame. My step deficit now that I'm back with the walking pad. Yeah. I mean, I've already walked like 3.5 miles this morning, I think. Got a nice long walk in outside. Yeah, 3.5 miles. So I might walk a little bit today. Stasis of choice. Dream Breath. Temporal Anomaly. And then Marithra's Blessing has been my go-to. That's been the big go-to lately. Countdown 10 BD key. GM Zoop. Craft your Mythic Belt and offhand week 1. Craft your Mythic Vault main hand into fruition. It worked. Easy game. Nobody helps remove their circles from the suppressors. Oh yeah, that's where Prez can remove it automatically though.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Prez can do it right away. I realize what I gotta be doing. Yeah, if you just rescue somebody who has the subjugator chains on them, it removes the snare component of the subjugator. Numbers, thank you for the prime. I still have 7 seconds on the CD right here. Otherwise, I would show you. Let's see. Subjugator's there. I can show you in a second here. See how it removes it from both of us? It is pretty OP. Another round of chains. And also echoing your Verdant Embrace is like actually so good. Yeah, so it's double freedom, not quite as short of a cooldown as regular freedom. But yeah, it's still very powerful. What is it? Here's my time. There it is. I'm like searching through my keybinds in my brain. It's like, where is my my earthquake? Is it earthquake? Landslide. That guy's trapped. He's chilling. Yo, to Benny. And that breath range. I guess I should be hitting some disintegrates for mana, shouldn't I? Bam. Little flip.
Champion, follow me. The Shadow Guard is building up its presence near the
There we go. Yeah, trying to get used to doing Prez keys. It's been a minute. It was a good day to catch up on alt stuff.
figure out their motives and put a stop to their efforts.
Yeah, yesterday we did like, I don't know, I think it was like 8 or 9 keys or something like that on my priest. I went from like 2200 or 2500 or something like that to 3.2, I think. It was very, very quick. It was a very busy day. Alright, gonna echo that. We top both of those off. Yo, Blick, thank you for the 18 months. Welcome back, welcome back. There we go. Oh, dude, I'm so glad to be home. That that first sleep when you get back home after living in a hotel for 2 weeks is so good. Oh my god. I think I woke up like close to noon or something like that. Like old gamer hours or something on that first morning back. It's like totally lost. Totally lost, totally disoriented when I woke up. Look at the clock, I was like, oh. How about a time dilation? Never mind. Archon has Void Weaver running on top, but your guide says Oracle. What are we supposed to do and why? It's a good example of data aggregation sites. If you look at the percent of parses on that chart that you are referencing, you'll see that the percent of people running Void Weaver is like 2% or something like that. It's like a guy in EU, I think, named like Starscream, and then I think like some Chinese logs. And like that's about it. So what you're really seeing is basically like an outlier. But since the season is so early, it's like, oh, that one's, you know, a couple points ahead or something like that. Yeah, it's like if you look at the chart, I think their Oracle and Void Weaver have done the exact same level of keys. Unless it changed yesterday and the Void Weaver guy did like one more. But basically like the top 10 to 15-ish list is like mostly all Oracle. Probably something like 50-50 between the shield builds and then the one I have in my guides. Oh, tank live! Alright, have another time dilation. Lightsmith Holy Pally. We're gonna play a little bit of that today. Yeah, it's like big damage, and you get a lot of infusion procs, which helps a lot too. All right. Buddy can't never know anything to your help. Yeah, I mean, I think it was literally dying through the time dilation too. It was a little tough. Yeah, Prez gets a lot of mana back from just hitting disintegrates. Especially with how much essence burst you get, you can hit a lot of disintegrates. And like, look at this, I just have all my mana back. And since you spend a lot of time just maintaining your aversions on your allies, use Dream Breath, you activate your Marithra's Blessing, and you kind of guarantee the hit. You get some nice casts right here. You can throw the ball. I don't think you would run Avenging Crusader. I think they're running Lightsmith with just normal wings. So, what a Khaleesi. Benediction benefit from talents that affect Flash Heal. Yeah. It's just an upgraded version of Flash Heal. So your Benedictions will proc like Trail of Light, for example. I cast to a Dratnos a lot. It was a lot of fun. I think that was the most I've worked with Dratnos at any World First or any other kind of event. I looked at the schedule and I was like, wait. And it's because of the raid hours. It's like we have like the exact same schedule. Yeah, you bet, Khaleesi. Wait a minute. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. This is AoE. So now should I go haste all the way? Yeah, I have like 42 or 43% haste or something ridiculous like that. I have a ton. on. There it is. The palette looks trashy. I think the biggest thing that trashed them was actually how they had like their niche eroded. Because when they buffed up Shayloon's gift, and they buffed like the baseline healing of Shayloon's gift, that like just made them a much better option for single target healing. Like my guild's been fine running with Pally, and you know we're 7 and 9 mythic and everything like that. We're gonna kill Bird I think on Monday. Like it's okay because you basically just needed to have like a really chunky healer to deal with all these heal absorbs, but it definitely would have been better if we just had double monk. I'm just gonna rewind this. I changed Shayloon's. It clear is meant to be an M plus thing. Yep. I don't know what the story is, but there's so many times these like unintended consequences happen, especially with Monk. I feel like it happens all the time with Monk. Hey, doing great, Jeff. How's it going, man? HBL going from spamming single target to raid spamming a somewhat weak feeling AoE. Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because the healers that kept a lot of passive output, a lot of like high tick, low quality heals. Those healers all did like really, really well in race. You know, Dispriest doesn't hit you for like large chunks. More often than not, you're getting hit for, you know, small quantities here and there. Oh shit. Same thing with like a lot of monks heals. And you're playing like a Rising Mist setup or something like that, and Rushing Wind kick from like just a raw output perspective, like it's super strong. Yeah, I see it. Let's go. But first finish being a test sell? When it has like an official release kind of thing, yeah. It seems like the version they have out right now is like, you know, still that kind of buggy version that people are kind of jailbreaking or kind of hacking up to put together. I was really expecting it to be, you know, more complete by now, but it might turn into like a bit of a waiting game, to be honest. I don't know. I think this next race is going to come up pretty quick because 6 months from now is BlizzCon. So Blizzard kind of has the option of like releasing an early race or a later one. And I feel like they'd probably default to early. They usually do whenever they have these kind of decisions. So it might kind of turn into like doing a UI revamp for the next season. We'll see though. Top of the grid, but Danish Frames working fine for me so far, so no rush. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have everything I need out of Danish Frames. How you doing, Mr. Cray? Oh wait, I thought you were British. What are we doing with the French greeting? What the heck? I've always wondered how British people and French people got along when you like fought. I mean, I guess it was a really long time ago, but like it baffles my mind learning that there was like a 110-year war between two countries. We don't? They don't get along? Yeah, exactly. Like, do you guys ever talk about that? You know? Yo, what up, Quinlan? Just really curious. I'm just really curious about that. It's like I'm paranoid. Brits are actually French. Norman invasion. That's true. That's true. But like, are there certain British people that are not Norman at all? Like, are, I don't know, Scottish people or like Irish people, since they were like so far away from that? Are they technically like real British and others are not? Typically, the British don't like the French. We're like retiring. We like retiring to the south of the France as the weather is good. Ah. Favorite thing to heal besides brew? Well, that was gonna be my answer.
Great despair emanating from within. Laura.
Yes, the knowledge. We must get inside.
Yo, appreciate it, Asta.
The skills you have learned can open the way.
Yep.
Such
Mongrels, mismatch of Angles, Saxons, Vikings, Normans, Celts. Yeah.
hurry heroes.
That stuff's fascinating to me.
That a Naru falls into void this way.
I remember I would play
Cases I know of have occurred when were involved. What fascinating implications.
oh, it was Medieval 2 Total War.
Such musings can wait, though. This entity must die.
And they had like mini expansions or DLCs or whatever it was. Where you could just like play on the British Isles. And have like whole dedicated commands to that. No one owned. Trash debuffs, like the Evoker Cheat Death on Danders. Unfortunately, right now, Blizzard messed with some stuff, and you basically have an all or nothing situation with your frames. You have to either have like all the debuffs or none of the debuffs, which really sucks.
Overcome this trial.
So I set my aura filter to direct API, and then I just show everything, unfortunately. And here.
Are you winning, son?
Great, Red Thunder. What's going on, big dog? It is alt key day. Big alt key day. I gotta get my Prez and my Paladin some juice. Maybe my Shaman as well if we have time. But main priorities are gonna be Pally and... Oh, damn. We were really close.
Overcome this trial.
Nice.
Stand.
How did the being of the light become a creature of
Got a need on all the decor, as always. Oh, a little wrist upgrade. Very slight, but still an upgrade. Love that. Love that, love that.
feel the fallen Naru's power?
G.
It beckons me.
Couldn't trade him.
Cusp of destiny.
Next round, I got you though.
Choices to make and consequences to face.
Getting the itch to play WoW again? Yeah, buddy. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Danner's pin to have, however, the beacon, the savior in it. Oh wait, you pinned it so that it always shows the savior target? Do I understand that correctly? Yeah, sure. He wants, all right, 10 Mazara. Yeah, I was gonna say that would be pretty insane if you could pin it and always have that target. Yeah. And I'm pruning to have world first to these weak cores and most of the healers getting fucked every time. Pretty much. Blizzard better have like a good response to this stuff. They really need to. Mazara. Yeah, auto targeting would be nice. Pit, seat, sky reach. I know, right, Chaos? Let's do sky reach instead. Is that cool? All right. Sky reach 10. Give me a sec to finish everything up. Yo, what's going on, Crunchy? It's alt key doing day. Gotta get my Prez some keys. We gotta find a tank too. I've been not having much time to do any alt keys or even main keys. So yesterday I think I did 8 or 9 priest keys. So today we gotta slam a bunch on Prez and Pally. See if I can get 4 keys each on them or something. Oh, let's roll, Mena. All right, let's do it. There is Sky Reach. This zone was pretty damn cool. There, oh yeah. Beam weaving? Probably. I think I want to get I don't know. I might do something like get every healer to 3k or something along those lines, or might kind of tunnel a couple characters. I'm not sure. Rating is like so busted for gearing alts though. I like very quickly got to a point on my priest where there was just like no upgrades I could get out of keys anymore. So I feel like I just need to grind and enough so that my alts can actually come to raid, and then I can just like power gear them super easily. So we've already been doing like so many splits that like my Prez is like decently geared, 265. He has a lot of keys to do, especially for like rings, boots, stuff like that. But I've just like absorbed a bunch of gear randomly through our splits. My Pally though is a little bit of a train wreck. He's like 255. Taking some 3k players don't even know about the bleed on the first Algathar boss. Oh yeah. Well, it seemed like a lot of people just wanted an easy season, and I don't know, Blizz is kind of giving them what they want, sort of deal. Yeah, apparently dropping the Apex talent is a legit strat. I've seen a lot of people doing that. I don't know. What do you think like the right solution to that is? Because it seems like a lot of people hate it when, you know, 10s and 12s are super nuclear difficulty and they want to be able to farm them. But then there's the other side where it doesn't feel that satisfying of an achievement. $3,400. I have this sinking feeling Druid isn't healing enough. I really feel safe with the Druid. What have you had like the most success with? I think I'm only like 33 or something like that on my priest. Haven't really run into like heal checks that felt bad yet. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. No one is like, for me, I don't mind. I don't really mind because there's always more keys, and like I always want to go higher anyway. Weekly keys at 20, if you're like 3 keys and you're at a 10, 2 more mechanics, 1 shot. Yeah, bro, the damage curve is insane. Haven't tested Cell. Exclamation mark UI has all my add-ons and the Danderous Frame stuff. If you only want the Danderous Frame stuff, you can just select Expert Install, and it'll let you pick and choose.
Five, four, three, two.
Druid talents is single Swiftbend setup. I saw the #1 Chinese Druid run. Feel a bit better for Druid spot healing. Not sure if that was just placebo. Yeah. There it is. I wish I could level up my 9 so I could just constantly be re-rolling it here.
2, 1.
Embrace it. Leave your sanity behind.
TBS not using any defenses in high keys, or they use it after the damage is done? Oh, I know. That always gets me, man. They take like 80% of their health and damage, then they hit their defensive, and then they die to the last possible thing. And they're like, what the fuck? I used my defensive. Yeah. That shit's a classic. 72 minutes ago. Yep. That's why I really miss having the details tracker, or like the death tracker, where you could see when they pop their defensive, and you could see like their healing taken and their damage taken in a nice little chart. Because I cannot begin to tell you how many times I saw DPS be like, "Oh my god, I died to this thing. I bled out to, you know, ticking damage," and I see them like 1 second before stand in something that hit them for like 70% of their HP. Just like, yeah, I mean, technically, yes, you did die to rot damage, but it's only because you just stood in something before. Windrunner, Survival of the Fittest, Stone Form. Yeah, it's just used. But they were probably already like super, super low, weren't they? Gets you every time. Should you always target yourself when AoE healing is pressed to benefit from mastery? Target yourself with what? Oh, tip? What am I really using tip for here? Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it for the next pull because it's gonna be more deadly. That's the pull that actually like kills tanks. You can kind of just send it to send it, but I don't know. I would rather have it for the upcoming one. The tanks get like 10 stacks of bleed. One thing I saw that was really interesting when I was looking at some logs is a couple of Pres Evokers would do this, where they would tip, stasis, set up their stasis, and then they would have tip going, and then inner flame is what it was, where your healing over time gets increased really heavily here, and they would have like nuts burst. I guess it's just a 10 and we're kind of stomping.
Overcome this trial. Win my faith.
Yo, what up, Valerian? I'm just chilling, dude. It's good to be back. Oh, it is good to be back. How was yours? Till 6:30 a.m. Oof. Is this actually the weekend for you now? Any spell, Dream Breath, Full Echo Party, VE, etc. Well, Dream Breath will just hit wherever you're facing, and it always hits you. Whenever you're echoing your party, I mean, yeah, you can always echo yourself. Nothing wrong with that. With VE, you put Lifebind on whoever your primary target is. So if I put it on just myself, I would only have Lifebind on myself. So ideally what you want to do... Ideally what you want to be doing is make sure you have it on somebody else to benefit. So like I can put it on Tarathal, and then by casting heals on him, I'm also healing myself with the Lifebind. Yeah. You try to echo your Mirthra's Blessing, which is a little different than echoing a TA. or reversion, because yeah, it also procs reversion, but it'll also proc that Marithra's Blessing heal, which is really, really nice. And that's what you want to be. That's what you want to be getting for everybody. Yeah, I'll just hit it for the haste buff. Yeah. Off till Tuesday. Let's go. It's like a lot of effort. I'm like hard over healing. I don't know. I'm like hard over healing into the damage. I'm just trying to keep up with like best practices. I'm sure I could scale down a lot of my healing and not have to do nearly as much. I think evokers can skip the gauntlet, yeah. I think they can. We're gonna find out. I'd imagine you could get like a really fat rescue crab, and that would probably be one of the biggest parts. Easy jump with hover? Okay.
Our might rules the skies. Behold, terror given wings.
Having two kids not conducive to successfully leveling alts. In a way, the kids are your alts, yeah. Disintegrate? Anytime that there's really nothing happening, like right here, and or anytime you want to be doing more dam. Both are good. It's a red bar show? What red bar? All I have to do is swing and I'm the hero. Like on the health bars? Oh no! All right. We overshot it a little bit. Overshot it a little bit. Oh! Okay, it worked. Easy. Oh no. Oh no. Is it bad that Disintegrate takes up Echo? It takes up Echo in that they both use Essence, but you can have Echoes available on a target, right? I have Echo on Mene, and then I Disintegrate, and it doesn't consume it, though. You always use TA to apply echoes that you use on reversions. So right here, I'll temporal anomaly and just hit the reversion. Get a bunch of essence burst out of it. Hit my fire breath. That'll probably also give me some essence burst. Manually apply echoes here. And then I can hit the reversions. Probably should have hit Verdant Embrace instead, actually, on that one. The red that shows in people's health bars is a negative healing absorb. You gotta heal up. Yeah. I'm gonna plug a lot of keys DPS. What would I recommend? Oh, what is OP right now? I think Unholy DK is. Problem whenever you play Fodom though is you're also competing against everybody else with who's playing Fodom. Yeah. Something with Lust is good too. I mean, I think Og will be a good choice for this season as well. Yeah. But yeah, I would probably just try to find whatever's Fodom, play that. Yeah, I'd imagine Og would be the easiest and also just high demand. You could find the like nice intersection between what is desired but not as highly represented. Because you could see how many parses on like Archon there is for certain specs. And that could be good. So. Gumshoe. I would say this is going pretty well. There's definitely a couple moments where I feel like if I don't have executes, then it feels pretty rough. But we were messing around with a bunch of stuff the other day. I was doing the shield build. I was doing some Void Weaver, and then I was kind of playing what I think is like the standard builds. I guess I could also be using rescues for the weekly affix, couldn't I? Combo Stasis. I've been doing Stasis into Dream Breath, Temporal Anomaly, Marithras. It's my go-to. Feeling well with dot spread? I did. Yep. I did. It felt good. The main downside I had less was mana. Yeah. Mana was the main thing. And like, that can be okay if you can get some time to drink, or if you're not overcasting your shields, it'll probably be fine, but it was definitely something that I noticed. Yeah, shield build I think is probably going to be the best choice for a lot of people who only want to do like 10s and like not push any further. But I feel like you have a lot of moments where you're like more vulnerable than I think an execute build makes you. You build a shield discipline in the pet. It's the best build I played. Never run out of mana. Yeah, you don't put in harsh discipline talent points, but you do take. I think I know what you're talking about. The +3. I think you do want to have the extra death casts and expiation and stuff like that for higher level content. But yeah, it's kind of tough on that sweet spot. What did Riley say he wanted? Pit seat sky reach. Where's the pit? We got seat AA Mazara. Yeah. Yeah, Prez is great, Spink. I've got some shorts and stuff like that. I've got a vid for the execute build. I'd still recommend the execute setup that my video is about. Yeah. Does torment sometimes summons more pets, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what the full explanation for it is either, yeah. I think we go AA, but we'll see if Riley has any preference. Thank you, Elrod. Ugh. John the Hero sell a car on TV. Hey, and some. Yo, Sophie, thank you for the new sub. Yo, it's No Dub. Thank you for the new sub as well. Welcome in, guys. Void Weaver's not awful. Like, there is one guy, his name is like Starscream, and he's been playing really high level Void Weaver keys. I think you just have more blind spots when you play as Void Weaver. To play it really, really well, you're just watching all your timings for when you're sending your Rift, because if you don't have Rift up at certain times, you know, bad things happen. Also, your spot healing is like very dependent on Shadowmen procs. And if you do not have Shadowmen procs, you're gonna have a bad time. A really, really bad time. Yeah, like sustained healing absorbs, like in Magister's Terrace. That one's tough. Oh yeah, I gotta update the tree. I have my tree for St. Patrick's Day. But that was before I left for race. And Easter's already passed, so I think I need to get some decorations for what, Memorial Day, right? Is like the next holiday. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he was stressed, Cadix. I'm sure he was stressed. Yo, Kyla. Thank you for the 66 months. How you doing? Bubsy. Let's see. Ready, check. Let me turn on TikTok real quick. There we go. Countdown 10. Let's send it. All right.
5,
Big dog
4,
pull.
3,
Let's
2,
start.
1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he didn't lower. Oh, no. Back in Dragonflight and ended up swapping to main and DPS after being a healer main. Enjoy her since Legion. The Brainworms to heal her back, but none of the healers are super standing out. What healer would I recommend? Especially for M+. I think Prez will be like really, really strong long term, but I would say, I don't know, Pally or Disc. Mistweaver is a very interesting healer right now. That could be good too. I don't know, it's very tough to say. I think there's like different things I enjoy about a lot of different healers. I think Shaman's good if you're just getting started with healing in general, but I don't think it's like super, super interesting to play or anything like that these days. If you're looking for some like good engaging gameplay, you know. So you to get nerfed? You never know. That's the problem. It's like you never know what the nerfs are actually going to end up being. CD tracking? Yeah, I got to set that up. What's the one that you're thinking of? I've heard a couple of them. No need to do PAL keys. It's fun in M+. How you doing, Alex? It's fun in M+. In raids, I think you just kind of sit around and wait until you get to the later fights with all the heal absorbs. Prez is high output, but it's just a lot of setup. I think Prez is going to get really good over the course of this expansion for M+, because they've been doing like a slow revamp for the class. But also, I got to play Prez for my guild for splits. So I already got to do keys on it anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know I already got to get it done anyway. Countdown 10. Make sure he's here. Why is Druid safe? Yeah. I think it's usually a pretty safe option. All right, let's send it.
5, 4,
Let's send it.
3, 2, 1.
Evoker main? Nah, just my primary alt right now. My guild's doing a lot of splits.
5, 4.
My guild's doing like a lot of splits to get ready for Midnight Falls and all the fun stuff that it's gonna be bringing us when we go fight Lura.
Survival wasn't necessary.
That is tough. Okay, we're getting back there. Marithra's just, oh my god. Prez and Brewmaster are just like such a goated combo. True, gonna get Visage form pretty soon for the Prez players. I can't wait. I don't have to be a silly dragon all the time, man. I feel like there's only like limited. I feel like there's only like really, really limited Mogs that actually like work well with what Prez has. Yeah. All right, we're back. M plus timer is, I think it's literally called M plus timer. Yeah, just the way that you spelled it. Yep. I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna rip. Yeah. Oh my god, I completely reversed the absorb. Let's go. Like ice cream? Of course. I worked at an ice cream place for like 3 years. Yeah, I thought that Blizzy interrupts showed cooldowns as well. Is it 2 different add-ons, Silpa? Because yeah, I do need to get those. I do need to get those. It's an add-on called M Plus Timer, Croon. Have to recommend the new Ben & Jerry's churros flavor. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I just got back from Race to World First, so I've got to catch up on the M Plus add-on side. You're watching it in your office, or on your phone in the office for the kill, knock your chair over, let's go. Yeah, man. Mini CC, I don't like the interrupt tracker because it's buggy. Blizzy is precise. Okay. Yeah, I'm down to try it out. I gotta get on that. Nope, no more buttons for that. I unfortunately do not have cables. Hopefully not today, Thor.
Follow me.
That people play with this kind of UI, they memorize the keys. Yeah, it's the best way, I think, to play. Just like with any like FPS game, you know, you're not going to stare at like left click is shoot and right click is aim and shift is your movement ability or whatever, right? The more you get used to what buttons you're pressing without having to look down at your action bars, the easier it gets. Yeah. Because beyond that, it's like just repetition, you know, getting more reps in, understanding what buttons you want to be pressing, you need to be pressing every time. Makes a huge impact. Should I memorize 20 keys? I think... I don't know, maybe it goes up to 20 when it comes to like your utility spells. But I feel like a lot of healers are like 7 to 10 buttons at most. I made it for M+? I don't really know yet, because my guild is just focusing on raid prog right now. We are 7 to 9 mythic, and we should hopefully kill Beleren Monday. So I'm not really worried about like my M+ main at the moment. It'll probably be priest for a while, because that's, you know, the geared thing. But I kind of have all season, you know? What up, Inez? We're doing all right, man. What's going on with you? flip. There we go. Yo, Lark, thank you for the 4 months. We did not run triple Mistweaver for Vanguard. We went Paladin, Shaman, Mistweaver, Disc, and Prez. And then we dropped... Oh, and Resto Druid. Yeah. And so we dropped... I think we dropped to a 4 heal? Or maybe we 5 healed. I don't remember. But no, we did not have that that flexibility. I think Bellaren's gonna be pretty chill. It's a lot of like just understanding the zone defense component, I guess. Of like people need to get active, they need to stand in positions where they can assist. I think too much of that fight is like fighting complacency. And a lot of responsibility gets put on your tanks, and a lot gets put on like your hunters. That's right, they gotta learn that zone defense, baby. Well, you see it in Race to World First, where a lot of people play what they call big. They take up space, and they're constantly in a position to like soak orbs, watch where they're coming from, be in position for them, all that kind of stuff. And that helps a ton when you have teammates that do it. You know, you were watching like Scott and Yips doing that constantly, and doing a phenomenal job of it. Ooh, there we go. But then when you're trying to have raiders, you know, copy it, they're kind of like timid. They don't want to get hit by the wrong orb or something like that, you know? You search for this kind of UI on YouTube. I have a guide for Dander's frames. That's the healing frames that I'm using. Yeah, you bet, Vaughn. Trust the hunters, we are lost. Nah, I gotta give credit to our hunters. They've been doing a good job. It's, I feel like the last couple raid tiers have just been stacking up a lot of like challenging jobs on hunters. And you know, they usually get like the mechanics too. But I don't know, it feels like it's been more than usual over the past couple expansions. So our guys have been stepping up. They have their moments like every hunter does. But they've been doing a good job. Does your 4-set proc Twin Echoes? It does. Yeah, hitting your Verdant Embrace does proc your Twin Echoes. Unfortunately, I don't have my 4-piece on this guy. I got 1 piece. I got the 1 piece. Oh, first time CE DPS. First time healer CE DPS. How easy is Prez to learn? Like 10s only? I don't think it's that bad. You follow a lot of principles of like hit this button at this time kind of stuff. Oh my god, I'm getting jumped on a bunch. Please, please, please. No, live. All right. Oh no. Okay, we're still alive. Oh my god, how did I not pull trash? How did I not pull trash? Almost through. I have no idea what killed him so quick. He had the dot. Oh, I guess the Oblivion dot was still going too. Kinda not ideal, but we can make it work.
That time of the month again. Take my Prime sub.
Yo, thank you, Ryan. Cheers for the 2 years. Appreciate it, bro. So I can't interrupt Carnage. All I can do is ping. They took the healer interrupts. I foolishly thought it was gonna lead to DPS kicking. Foolish. Zero is really strong. Yeah, I mean, being able to do so much single target healing in raid will also bring in really, really good output. Tail swipe's not a stun, and it's a boss, so you can't stun the boss. Only a direct interrupt. Oh, come on. Nice. Oh my goodness. We're so back. Yeah, I have gotten disoriented a lot of times in that fight. It's probably just overlapping kicks. It's always the bane of everyone's existence, it feels like. Got resiled 15s, 117, and 2 16s on HPAL. Let's go. Let me echo that. These guys are the worst, I feel like, for healing as Prez, because they're just like back-to-back big single target hits. Once you're a mythic raid tank and 3k pushing healer, DPS is sort of boring. Can't decide on a damn DPS to play that feels fulfilling. Yeah. There we go. I was hesitating because I was waiting for my stasis to come back so I could set it up for this. So we're kind of getting piped by a lot of these kicks. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Flip it up. Wait for him to cast. Push again. Oh. If you deep breath during that damage, it stretches it. It's like that stretch time talent. So that's what I did, is I kind of stretched the dot so that I wouldn't take as much damage. Hard time figuring out what healer to main. Any tips or suggestions? What do you not want to play so far, though? Do you not want to play in melee? Do you not want to play ranged? What are your definitely nots? Yeah, what up, Squanch? I've been trying to do it a little bit more. I think I have the display and stuff for TikTok figured out. But if you guys see anything that's like missing, let me know. I know it can be kind of a pain to view all the stuff happening on a WoW UI, right? Oh my god, it's so much damage. I'm just gonna hit rewind. Or y'all just get bolted to death. Is the case in the background? The display case? I got some books in there. I have the leather-bound edition of Way of Kings. I got a couple of other things in there. I have some like pictures and some mementos and things like that from other events. What's everyone hating on Pally? Because it's doing poor HPS. Especially on a lot of early fights, which I think is kind of weighing the chart in a really negative way for them. Pallies were looking like insane in beta, and then they got some nerfs, and you know, then they're not brought into world first when they usually are, and so yeah, people unhappy. The purple thing, that's my Twitch trophy. Yeah, they have purple, chrome, and marble trophies that Twitch gives to streamers for having a certain amount of hours watched. So I got the first one. I got the purple one. In order to get, I think, the next one, I need like 10 times. It was like 10 times the requirement to get the purple one is the next one up. So I don't know if I'm ever hitting that. I don't know if I'm ever hitting that. But I got the first one. We got your back. Make sure you get the trophies, my man. I mean, it would be sick. Yeah, I play all the healers. I'm working on getting my alts online after Race to World First wrapped up. But every beta, every PTR, I always play all the healers, and I've got guides on my YouTube now for Resto Druid, Holy Priest, Disc Priest, Holy Pally, and the next one up is going to be Prez. Huh. Scale of 1 to 10, do you have a girlfriend? I think it's a 0. Is Druid still your least favorite? No, I'd say my least favorite right now is probably Shaman. I think Shaman is, I don't know, just nothing new, nothing exciting about it. Just kind of like unenthused. Yeah, I can't believe they would ask me all these questions about how many healers I'm playing and then be like, so do you have a great relationships? Shaman is a vibe. It is the crack a cold one with the boys and watch Twitch spec. Which, you know what, is definitely a fun vibe. It's the anti-cortisol spike spec. It's the anti-cortisol spec. H-Pally by far the worst on Crown. From like raw output, right? I think what actually makes Pally bad on Cosmos is actually that it gets targeted by every mechanic like 10 times as much. I think that's actually my issue with it, because our Pally Zorg got those lines, those beam circles and everything like that, like almost every single fucking time it went out. I'm just watching him like struggling with stuff at the start of the fight every time. Well, that's the thing. Fun is just subjective. Always been a fan of both priest specs. Want to have fun, but also have a serious prog aspect. I mean, priest is a good one. Priest is a good one. If you're enjoying it, I would say you should send it. Let me push this button, and then this button, and then this button. We release the stasis right before those all go off. Yo, what up, Snicko? 1205 temp anomaly change. So, if you played in Dragonflight, Reach, in Dragonflight, Pally got this massive rework that like instantly made him busted for keys overnight. I feel like Prez is getting like a slow version of that. They're getting like a slow version of a rework that's going to make him really strong. And I don't know if it's going to be after the 1205 patch, but I think every single patch that Prez is getting changes is going to bring it like another step closer to being like really strong in keys. So I think it's going to help. It's my zodiac sign. Virgo. I think that's what it is for August. Are they ever gonna make Pally good again? Yeah. We just gotta talk to the right feller at Blizzard. We gotta talk to the right guy. This button. And dish button. And this button. And then release. I saw Balance Team is led by Priest and Druid mains. I think the weird thing about Pally, and I think this about Holy Priest as well, is that I thought they were both going to be a lot better because their direct healing is a lot stronger, but it's actually the passive healing that's a lot stronger now. It's the healers that are able to produce like really, really strong, consistent output, you know, like small hits, but a lot of hits. That kind of stuff is like really insane. He got pants. Nice. Where's my quest? I need one more on Prez. I need re-rollers. Got AA, Cavern, Sky, AA again. Top rated H Priest and M plus, stacking haste crit, almost no verse. There's a reason for that. Because they're probably playing Disc and Raid. Yeah. Because I think last I checked, at least Clemens, for example, I think is rank 1 Holy Priest, and I think he was playing Disc on Raid Prog, so all his gear is focused on that, and then he's playing Holy and Keys. Go from monk to priest Pally, the spewing healing. Exactly quick. It's the spew healing. And it's the more you're having people just like spewing that healing left and right, the more it's kind of capturing any of that like rot or ticking damage on the fight, which is everywhere, right? Yep. 263 is fine for a 12 tank. You might get spanked around a little bit, Beatus. You might be. Because 12 there's quite a bit of step up in damage. I would probably 265, 268, something like that. 31. Yeah. She's just 12's hurt? Yeah, 12 spank you. I feel you, Mene. GG's, dude. Alright. We want to do Algathar. Where's your love gone? Booker feels crazy strong HPS wise, can top everyone off. Yeah, because you get a lot of damage. A lot of your healing as Prez comes from reversing damage. You know, things like Golden Hour, for example, are like super, super strong. Yeah. So you get into like these really good spots where you can just, the more damage they're taking, the easier it is to reverse it. It feels like. Palette took a hit to the identity with being less melee. Yeah. But on the other hand, they sort of got their identity refreshed by going back to like big, chunky, heavy heals. But then they made an environment where like big, chunky, heavy heals aren't good. It's so weird. It's sort of similar to where Disc had like really slow ramp up times when there were boss fights with lots of movement. You know, the micro of a spec not doing well with the macro of like what the dungeon kind of throws at you. You throw out Emerald Blossoms with your Essence Bursts. And just only with your Essence Bursts, because otherwise it costs a lot of mana. So, there you go. Well, it probably feels like it's missing something for them higher keys. Yes, it is. It's called a raid buff. It's called a raid buff. Yeah. Thank you, Hart. You as well. 16's on your pally. Can't decide over Herald or Lightsmith. I would probably just run Lightsmith, I think, at this point. Because being able to mark people with your shields is really, really insane. It's really, really insane. Bruce Lee. All right. Splash healing with a talent brought to the light, but that talent should never work in raid. It's a balancing nightmare. Isn't that like when they receive a heal or something like that, it splashes? Let's see. Brought to light. Oh yeah, killing the enemy. Yeah. That needs to just not work. That needs to just not work. Yeah. Feel like I could just cry. Super healthy, but healing output in raids, yeah.
Good stuff at our WF boss. Welcome back.
Thank you, Liffy. Thank you for the 107 months. Long time. Healing notes for my raid? No, usually our officer does that. Yeah, usually we have a couple healer officers. Back on disc? Nice. Just like the old days, Liffy. How's Prague treating you, dude? Let's just rip this spare flask. Dude, it always feels good to be home. Always feels good. Especially when you've been gone. Oh my god, when you've been gone for like 2 weeks, living out of a hotel, that first sleep when you're back home. So good. 3 nights on Pally's, best pull was 2%. Oh, that's a backbreaker. Do you have another raid after Monday, or is that the end of the week? There we go. Let's ride. Trying to find a class to reroll, but everything looks bland compared to Prez. Any thoughts for something a bit uncommon? Probably Mistweaver, I would say. Beleren of 0.48%. Oof. Oh, we're bugging tanks as well, Valerian. Yeah, I was expecting some guildies to be on, but I'll try to get them on later or something if I can. That's right, dude. The tank desert. I feel that. Yeah, you bet, Kigo. Take it easy, man. Last Monday, recleared Wednesday, Thursday. Regressed a bit because people were missing. Yeah, that's always the worst. Zular, thank you for the 2 months. I kind of feel like after every Race to World First, there's almost like a 1 week hangover or something like that, where kind of everybody takes a breather from the game. Guild I'm in is Incarnate on Tichondrius. We were World 38th in Maniforge Omega, last expansion. I think we're around that right now, but we're 7 and 9 Mythic. Yeah, I do, Christian. Yep, yesterday was playing my main, my priest. Today we're working on some alt stuff. I got one more Prez key in this one. And then after that, I gotta play Pally. Yep. Yeah, Prez can dispel bleeds. I use the sexy map add-on, Barsh, to show my mini map. Cynical still raiding? Yeah, his name's Scryax. Yeah, he's still playing mage for us.
Overcome this trial.
Wait for it. But yeah, if you wanted to, you could just Cauterizing Flame, remove the bleed that way. Yo, what up, MT? Who are you playing with now, MT? I was watching Hal the other day, and I watched him kill you in a matchup, in a scrim. And then later on you were playing together. But I didn't see your team name. Oh shit. Oh, well, that's bad. It's fine. Am I back into WoW? Let's go, dude. Yeah, is it a while till the next LAN? They just finished up our, like, Race to World First, our big event, basically. So I've been playing catch up. I use Dander's frames, Jamie. Yeah, I use Dander's frames. How do you show the debuff from Pit of Sauron, where the bird picks someone? You should just be able to see it off Dander's frames. Yeah. There's a setting where you set your frames to like direct API. There's like a filter that you can set up for it and stuff. So Dander's frames wants you to like set it to a direct API and then show like all the debuffs from there. And it usually should show everything. Yeah. You would do an alt healer, but I can't choose which one to play. Could you help me, XD? I think people should learn Prez, because I don't know if it's going to be in 1205. That might be a little too early. But it feels like Blizzard is positioning Prez to be a meta healer at some point this expansion. So if you're looking for an alt to play, I feel like that'll be a good one. It might be, you know, second season or third season of the expansion or something like that, but I think it's going to happen at some point this expansion. Yeah, what's up, Nero? How you doing, bro? I don't know when, but just when you see Blizzard constantly adding quality of life changes to the spec, feels like it's going to be at some point. Yeah, Dander's frames will show targeted spells. I have mine to show up below the frame. Prez main to miss the damage we used to have. I thought some people like Kagalian were running Flame Shaper to do a bunch of damage. Is that not enough? Did I post talking about turning off your sound? Yeah, my guild linked that to me, Avocado. Yeah, do you want to link that in chat? Do you have a link to it? I knew that March of Quel'Thanas had like memory leak issues because my FPS got worse and worse over the course of a raid night. But apparently there's only a limited amount of cores that get used in WoW for stuff. And one of those cores handles sound. And then if you disable it, yeah, check out this post that Avocado had. Apparently you disable it, it makes your FPS better. That's ridiculous. Oh, man. How much healing is good? I'm at 240 with times some 10s. No idea if I'm supposed to be doing 50k plus or way more. You got to do enough healing to keep everybody alive. That's the biggest thing. If you're keeping everybody alive, you're doing your job. I like the horizontal frames because I think having them like below my character just makes them easier to reference. I feel like I have more of the like middle of my screen that's open, but it's all personal preference. It's all personal preference. My orb. One of us has it. One of us does. Most fun healer? It's kind of tough. From just a playstyle perspective, maybe I'd say Holy Priest. But obviously it feels great when you like, you're back to what I would kind of call older versions of Disc, where if you just hit your ramps perfectly, you just like gap everybody else in HPS, which I feel like you haven't really had that until like, all right, you haven't really had that sort of output since maybe a Mirdrasil. Ever make Pres meta and M plus to be Giga Mega busted in raid? It's happened before. It's happened before. It's in my bio on TikTok, Jamie, or you can see I have videos on YouTube which also show how to set it up. I had 2 different videos, I think, in the. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, we're back. Almost awful. Knocked. Thank you for the prime. Whew. Prez, if you're the Holy Priest in your guild deciding to swap to Disc, yeah. It's strong right now. I really hope that they get out of the execute heavy playstyle for Disc, though. Like, we're pretty fortunate that a lot of raid fights you can snipe executes like crazy, but I don't think that's gonna be lasting forever. I don't think it's gonna be lasting forever. Yeah, the second we start getting some boss fights that are just like really, really poor for execute value, I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be feeling too good at all. That and like, even though they've really nerfed down piety, it's gonna get out of control again. No, I'm running the other Verdant Embrace, Sarg. I'm running the Verdant Embrace that doesn't jump you. So I would have been screwed. Yeah, my raid frames are also horizontal. They just grow downwards, basically. They just grow downwards. Well, yeah, the thing with Disc was the primary playstyle that was good got nuked, like absolutely destroyed. And then they started buffing a lot of talents that were like good for execute. And I was like, I don't know if you're really gonna have, you know, execute be that valuable. And it turns out you have a bajillion ads on every single fight. It works out to be pretty good. But the second we get some fights that are not that beneficial for execute, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Yo, what up, Rog? How you doing, man? Chilling, man. Today is alt day. We gotta get some prez and then pally keys.
Please excuse the mess. It has been quite some time since students have been here. I'm just putting together my lesson.
Not enough dispels. I don't know if they changed this to not target the healer or what. I hate to do it, but I gotta push. I didn't want to push the first time because I felt like it might push people out of like their damage cooldowns, but Pally's kind of like mid-range. They're counted as melee, but you aren't really standing in melee much.
Created a powerful construct named Maximus that quickly
Yeah, the game calls you melee though. Yeah. Still kind of wobbly in pugs where people aren't properly mitigating their own damage or taking avoidable damage. I don't think it's that bad anymore. It definitely used to be. But I think it's a lot easier to like set up your healing. I think it's a lot easier to set up your healing now. Any fun doing world quests on Preservoker? Try not to do much world content as a healer. Sometimes you have no choice, so I try not to. I don't really enjoy the gameplay of Praise, but I appreciate the system they're trying to make. Like, I really want them to have fun world activities that make me like have an easier time gearing my ult, especially my healers. But I also don't want it to be like I don't want the type of gameplay to be what Prez is right now, where you just run around and click stuff, kill one mob. Yeah. Perfect, Jay. What I like most about H-Pally isn't important in the kit. Yeah, they really nuked a lot of reasons to use Judgment. And it's frustrating because for a while, the big reasons to use Judgment were all like passive healing, which was bad. You know, it would like splash a bunch of random healing and you'd never really like feel it. But then when they nuked Temporal Anomaly, then when they nuked Empyrean Legacy, it was like, but that was the reason. That was the big deal. That's why we wanted to actually be casting Judgments, was because they would buff up our spenders and make our spenders feel better, you know? Is there a good heal bot? I use Dander's frames. Yeah. I use the Dander's frames. Praise are a little more chaotic. Yeah, it just seems like the gameplay, at least the type of it right now, is not that good. But I want them to keep on iterating on it, because if they do, I think it's just going to be... They'll find something that's fun, you know? Like, if you remember the last version they had of Torghast, the very end of Shadowlands, very end of Shadowlands, they had this Jailer's Gauntlet where you quickly got powers and you immediately just gamed. That, I think, was really fun, but it took, like, the entire expansion before it was developed, you know, before it was released. They can eventually find a, like, a fun playstyle for it. Some people are playing Flame Shaper, and I think it's just to do more damage. But I've seen people, I think they did like 18s or 19s or something like that as Flame Shaper, so it's definitely viable. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Taylor. Exactly. Yeah, Jamie. Let's see if they want to walk through or not. Oh yeah, it moves out of the way. I think Oracle Holy is on like the lower end. I mean, people have done like I think 16s with it or something like that, so you know it's possible, but it's just worse than Archon right now. Yeah. I know, I'm so annoyed with the Zalatath affix. Like, you can get rid of it with a lot of different ways. You know, you can get rid of it by rescuing somebody, and that gets rid of 2, but... I'm like, I want to go to 12, so I don't have to deal with this. Can't perform activities like Pray, World Quest, or Delves with satisfaction. How do I get him to wear them? You lost me. Worst M plus healer right now in terms of playstyle. It's a good question. Oh my god. I think Shaman's playstyle is kind of boring, but I think that's also something that it's not necessarily like an awful thing. Some people want to just have, you know, pretty easy to get into healer. Yeah, I tell people every expansion, whenever you're like struggling to get into groups, the best thing you can do is, yeah, first run your own key, but also the more you can kind of just like build up a network of people to play with, the better of a time you're gonna have. Yeah, I think Shaman's easy. Oh, now see Prez as much in race? Healing absorbs. It's like healing absorbs and monk kind of together. Because the problem with Midnight Falls is you needed a lot of damage, which Prez wasn't doing. Disc was doing. You know, that's why you saw Echo go double disc. But before that, Echo was playing with Druid because Druid was going to do a much better job of dealing with those negative healing absorbs out of the intermission on Midnight Falls. Like a way, way better job. Nah, there's a guy who's doing 18s and 19s as Voidweaver Penguin. I do think it causes you to have potentially more problems.
Thank you for all your help in getting the school ready.
Oh, we got a whistle! Nice. Could run that in keys, I think. Big. Cause I really want to run Veilgore's Final Stare here. Gonna swap to my Pallor. Starting to get into these keys as a healer. What's the best way you recommend for you to learn the damage profiles? Is it blunt force trauma? A bit of blunt force trauma. But also, it's like when you die, you gotta understand, or when somebody else dies, the best thing you can be doing is just understanding why. A lot of times healers like panic or freak out and like they freeze because they don't know what buttons they want to be pushing, like all that kind of stuff. They kind of freeze up on you. And the best way to really avoid that sort of freeze situation is just understand what buttons you need to be pushing and then also understand where the damage is coming from. Yeah. I love the little hints that something's coming for Prez. Yeah. If you're beginner friendly? Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
The Farstriders stand ready.
The Sun Reapers.
Emissary? Play Monk and Spin? I think at early levels, yeah, you just spin. Another set of bracers. Oh my god. Really learning in 16s that I have a lot of trust in your DPS to use their own defensives. Oh, you have to have a lot of trust. Yeah. We're just doing 12s and 10s. I'm just doing some alt keys. Yesterday we were doing 16s, 17s. We're gearing up our guys. We're gearing up our guys. Any gamer. Yo, Cruzy, thank you for the new sub. I haven't done praise in ages now, a noob. It's been a couple weeks. Yeah, every single healer has done 18s at least. You can get 3k, 3.5 with any healer. I'm 263 Prez. Can I do a 12 with that since you're 265? Well, your name is also Terrible WoW Player, so maybe. Maybe. Let's get my pally strong. Oracle still feeling cursed, stepped away after all the beta nerfs. With Disc? Oracle Disc is really good. Oracle Holy Priest, though. Oracle Holy Priest, though, is a little rough. Oh, they like kneeled to me. Yay,
I
the
see
light
chicken.
shines brightly
I suck.
around you. Aw. Neurotic. Thank you for the 4 months. I use better cooldown manager. Yeah, I use better cooldown manager. And then he dismounted, yeah. They kneel to paladins, but not to priests, because paladins are the Giga Chads. Paladins are just the Chads, obviously. Let's see. We're working on Bella Ren, yeah. We're working on Bella Ren. I unga, therefore I unga. Yeah, better cooldown manager is great. It's in my bio, Kevin, and then I also have videos on my YouTube about it. Do I have a wife or need one? I don't know if I need one. Shit, dude. What I need is a little bit of better eye level on my pally. TikTok questions are wild, man. Keelix, thank you for the 18 months. Hello, our confession. I'm a summer hater. I hate summer. I don't want it to come. I love spring, fall, and winter. Also, I'm scared of wasps, so I keep my windows perma-closed during the summer as I already had 2 flies in and traumatized me. So the only air I get is from my open front door and fan. Oh, wrong site. Hi, Jack. Hi, Tequilix. Yeah, my, you know, Jamie, my gear sucks. My gear stanks. And maybe I will do some praise or something. Oh, you know I gotta do that Cantina quest too. I gotta do that Cantina quest. What is it? The toasting brew. Or cantina toasts. Wait, don't leave. No. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm playing Lightsmith right now. Playing Lightsmith right now. Don't leave. Don't leave. I gotta toast you. All right. What about... Oh, can you actually toast yourself? I didn't know that. I thought you had to find another player. Today I learned. Yeah, I just got done doing keys on Prez. We did some 10s and 12s. We did some 10s and 12s. It's a weekly quest. Yeah, this is the weekly Spark quest. As you go to the Arcantina, you toast some people, gives you that Apex cash, gives you your Spark. Kind of outgrown all this gear, but hey, you got like 18k gold. You got like 18k. Let's see, it's how it needs any alt keys. Bro, I met you at the hotel bar at BlizzCon back in like 2018. You do not age. Thanks, big dog. Yeah, doing great. You gonna be at the next one? What up, Stark? Let me see. Hopefully, got kids now, so the prize change. I feel you, man. That's awesome, though. Congratulations. Let me see. He has a key. All right. He has a key. I do not have a key. Why is the first pull so rough in Windspire? Lose a DPS or tank? It's because those, it's because of the healing absorbs. Or not the healing absorbs. It's because of the magic debuffs. Because it spawns, like, it spews 2 out, and then it spews 2 more. Yeah. Pick a healing alt, Prez or Disc. Disc. Shocking, I know. Shocking. Comment on the runs? Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Let's see. Can we run your key? Let's see. Yeah? Alright. Alright, gamers. We need some big dogs. Slam a couple 10s. Oh shit, what up, Michaels? All right. Oh, yeah, what are you playing as, Yoda? What are you playing as? That was fast. Let's game. Is H-Pal? Let me think. Yeah, what I'd probably do as H-Pal is I would bubble if you get basically when you get the dot debuff on you. Dispel a person and then sack another person while your bubble is up. And then you have wings with Hand of Divinity for the instant cast Holy Lights, and then you could just drop the big fat lay on hands on those people whenever they're in like big danger. That's probably how I would do it.
An entity from the void has emerged into our
And I'm gonna run Unbound Freedom. Yeah, the biggest problem that you're gonna encounter is that you are just guaranteed to get more debuffs than you can actually like deal with. You know, you're gonna get 2 and then 2. So if it like 2 go out and they're not on you, you have wings up and you can drop the holy lights to kind of buy time for that other person. 2 more go out, and that's where you might just like bubble yourself, keep yourself at full HP so that the beacon of the savior doesn't go to you, and then that means that you could just laser focus everybody else, something like that. Lightsmith gives you a lot of infusion of light procs. I think I'm playing Blood Elf right now, but if I was gonna play like really sweaty, I'd probably do Dwarf. Yeah, get that stone form rolling. Little young ready check. Oh yeah, where's my flasks? Which mana pot should I use for out of combat? If you're out of combat, you drink water and you get this Tranquility Bloom tea, which gives you the most mana back. All right. Slash countdown. Yeah, you're basically running the exact same build, but a different hero talent. And so your spenders are a little weaker, but they're already weak anyway. But you also get access to stronger weapons. Yeah. If you have mana buns, always prefer the mana buns.
2, 1.
Yeah. Battle Res Tracker is from Method Raid Tools. So this is going to go out. And I'm going to put it on... I'm going to do that. I have Northern Sky installed because my guild does it, but I don't do anything with it. I don't do anything with it. I don't like how they set up the reminders at all, so I just use Method Raid Tools for it. Oh my god, my haste is so low. I don't like the interface though for Northern Skies for the reminders. Like I know how to set it up, I just don't like how it is to set it up. I don't know. Basically. Yeah, and I'm really annoyed with WoW utils because they basically made it so that you can't effectively work with Method Raid Tools anymore. You used to be able to export from WoW utils into Northern Sky, and you just can't anymore. It's really, really weird. It's really, really strange. Yeah. Like Herald and 14 keys getting stuck because I can't meet the heal it requirements. Wall gets the same as a Holy Shock. If I don't crit, I don't move health bars. Can't really prep and capitalize the way a Rested Druid can. Well, literal troll, please ignore. I think you should be moving towards Lightsmith. At least then you can have... Oh, I gotta set up my sword and shields on my bars. It's not showing right now. But at least that way you're gonna be able to see... Those are nice clears. At least then you're gonna have access to like your shields and everything like that. Which makes a lot of your spot healing easier when you're just stacking up these absorbs on players. Or even some of the like tempered in battle kind of transfers that you're getting. It just acts as like a big stabilizing force basically. What I'm trying to do now is because I'm running the Moment of Compassion talent. You kind of want to like chase your Beacon of the Savior when it comes to using your infusion flash of lights. Because they do a ton more healing when they're hitting the Beacon of the Savior target. So that's kind of like your first big thing that you want to be looking at. But if there's absolutely nothing going on, we just DPS. Yeah. Put the beacon on the tank because I wasn't sure how much damage they would be taking. So I wanted to start by like playing safe. Just to play safe. But when you're in like bigger keys and like you're super confident with who you're playing with and stuff, I agree. You should put it on 2 DPS.
Their commander here has a particular item that would be useful to me.
Figure out their
With my Yanni mount though, I don't have it. I don't have it. But I got the Spectral Dragonhawk. I saw a lot of times druids are even keeping life loom on themselves, but I think they're usually defaulting for any like squishy player. Yeah. They usually default to any squishy player. Lightsmith, you're playing Avenging Wrath. Yeah. Yeah. Add-on instead of built-in boss warnings that actually has voice-based warnings. Was it VEM or something like that? Voice. There's some kind of voice mod that you can do, but you can also turn on in like bigwigs or DPM. You can also just turn on like sound countdowns and stuff like that, and voiceovers for mechanics too. I think the default UI also gives it as well. Oracle or Archon Holy? Oracle is just really rough. Their healing is not really tied to anything. It's tied to like Prayer of Mending, which is pretty weak this expansion, I guess. And not much else. I think Archon is like straight up better, gives you just better burst output. It's actually pretty mana efficient when you're in your cooldowns. So I would highly recommend playing Archon. I don't know, Divine Toll feels like too much of a hamstring. The thing is, a lot of the Divine Toll value, I feel like, is tied into getting your infusions. Which, whenever your infusions fade from you, also gives you infusion with your armaments as Lightsmith. Oh my god, I gotta get more haste. DB unblocked? Nope. Add-ons are still very much a thing. Yeah, instead of the Dawn Lights, though, then you get access to the weapons. The weapons are strong. This is Dander's frames, Elbrith. Yeah, Cell has like a working version, but it's not really like an official version. I heard there were some bugs and some issues with it, so I'm rolling with Dander's frames. So, yeah, you have your shields, which produce a ton of output, Andrew. They're really good. And I cannot wait until I get some haste. Keys done on Lightsmith and not Sun. Is it shields versus hots? I think it's actually that both of them are very similar in healing value, but having like the spec that does more damage is one of the things that starts pulling it ahead. I guess it's also the shields as well. Yeah. Shields, defensive value. I mean, you're still getting a lot of infusions. With your weapon buffs like expiring. It's a few different things like that. Nah, you don't use Light of Dawn in M+. No reason for it. I'm gonna give him Bop so he doesn't have to deal with a dot right there. You want to throw shields on anybody that you think is going to take like sustained levels of damage. The weapons don't matter from like a damage perspective. No matter who you throw the weapon to, it's as long as they're attacking enemies, it's still going to do the same damage. Void Weaver in raids, it's not really a thing. Yeah. There's a couple areas where like you could execute onto shields, and those are like really strong moments, but that's about as far as it goes. So, now you never want to use Beacon on yourself, because when you're running Light of the Martyr, those negative heals that Light of the Martyr build up cannot be healed through your Beacon. So your Beacon like turns off basically when it's on yourself. Yeah, a lot of healing in raid right now is like dominated by specs that spew healing. They do a lot of hits for like low value, you know, like Dispriest Atonement, Mistweaver Renewing Mist, our Druid Hots. You know, they all tick very, very often, but they don't really hit very hard on their own. And those have been really powerful versus Paladin having like big, chunky, powerful single target heals. In Holy Light, that also overheal a lot. So I feel like them removing Empyrean Legacy not only was like an output nerf, but it also hurt their healing profile, because they were getting a lot more beacon transfers, a lot more AoE passive output, bunch of stuff like that, and now it's just like gone. And the healers that are dominating right now are the ones who are really putting out a lot of like high burst output that is like sustained over the course of, you know, 20 seconds or something like that. You know, you put up Prez reversions on everybody with huge echoes and hitting a fat Marithra's Blessing, and then it constantly like blankets your allies for a long, long period of time. So, your tips for starting to heal: get used to your keybinds so you don't have to be staring at them all the time, and understand where your damage is coming from. A lot of moments are salvageable for healing, but people kind of let a bad thing turn worse because they panic. And when they panic, that's when you start really seeing a lot of people die. Radiant Sunstone? Nah. You can check trinkets on questionablyepic.com. That's really, really good for comparing healer trinkets. Yo, Dash and Slash, thanks so much for the new sub. Shadows Liver, thank you for the 54.
Something monthly screen message interrupting your concentration.
Never. Thank you, Liver, for the 54 months. Yeah, let's get that stun. Yeah, if we had, if only they didn't nuke Empyrean Legacy from orbit, man. It would have been a different world. Gingy's last video where he said EU players a lot better than US players. I didn't, but that sounds like a video I should watch. Do you have a link? One light of dawn for the chat? Sure. Here you go. 10s? Yeah. My pally is 253, so he needs some gear. Yeah, you can link it if you want, Mole. That disrespectful? Impossible for me to say without context. You know how it is with, this guy said this thing, and it could be said a million different ways. Yeah. Here's the light of dawn. Didn't see it? Alright, one more. Watch Michael's. 57, 58, 780. Whoa! Nah, you don't light it dawn at all in keys. You don't light it dawn at all in keys, Paller. As an EU player, I agree with the message without watching. Yeah. Are we not walking today? I walked. I might walk a little bit later. Who knows? I'm kind of wanting to walk again. I did walk 3 miles already. Miles inches cups. What the fuck is a kilometer? Yeah. Listen, all I'm saying, America kind of having a good year. Winning a hockey, winning another race to world first. Going to the freaking moon. In what context is the really important part for the comment? I feel like Gingy's not a person who'll go for clickbait. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. Whenever somebody's like, did you hear about this guy saying this thing? You don't know the context. You don't know. Alright, almost done with the dungeon. Always full mana? Because I don't have enough haste. I just don't have enough haste to cast Holy Lights to myself. Going near the moon? Okay. If you go to the store, how do I describe this? They went around the moon. They went past the moon and back. They didn't stop at the moon. They didn't stop at the moon. Yeah, I'd imagine we get more tune-in and stuff. Warlock. Like a drive-through, yeah. I want more haste for keys, Don. I want more haste for keys. My haste is low. You drive to Walmart, but when you park, you then turn around and go home. Did you go to Walmart? Well, think about the conversational arc. You know, if you like go home immediately after you go to the Walmart parking lot, you know, your wife or whatever be like, oh, what happened? You'd be like, well, I went to Walmart, but then I forgot my whatever, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, I went there and then I left. So yeah. And listen, you know what? Everybody's saying we didn't go to the moon is never going to the moon in the next 1,000 years. So we're only taking our friends with us to the moon. Walmart didn't buy anything, kids at home starving. Still saw all the Walmart people. Exactly. And I'm just saying, I'm sure all these astronauts know some shit about aliens. But they're the ones who are gonna keep tight-lipped about it. Yo, G-Sox, thanks for the new sub, man. Add-on that shows the timers is called M+ timer. Just called M plus timer. Vikings were on the moon in 1425. Checkmate Americans. You can run Lightsmith for any keys. You can do it for anything. Struggling a bit with your boss healing as Monk, especially the last boss in Seat. I think what you gotta get used to with... I think Monk is still stacking up a lot of, like, enveloping mist before they're cranking a bunch of healing. They are. Oh, wow, that was actually it. That's crazy. Easy. Just one little goober. Any more? I think it might user just be a matter of stacking up envelops in advance and then just getting ready to like blast a bunch of Shayloons. I think. Prez is kind of slowly getting a rework. They're getting that change to temporal anomaly where it's now going to be like a no longer going to be like a skill shot and it's just going to apply to people, you know. I think they're slow. I think Prez is slowly getting a rework and they're basically going to end up in a spot which is going to be like really, really strong for keys. I don't know if it'll be like season 2, season 3 maybe, but I know it's coming. They're getting good stuff. They're getting good stuff. Half your guild's from Canada. It's very fun talking with people who are almost the same culture-wise as America, but use the metric system. And they have bagged milk, Zark. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. Mulsey, did you find that timestamp? Yeah, there's been quite a bit of pruning for Prez. It's been changed a lot. I think some of it's good. Some of it's like... it takes away some of the uniqueness. But I also kind of get why they did it. Let's see. AA or Magisters? Anyone want to prefer using their key? Yeah, you aim at any of the chimes that are up in the air and they're active, Brutal. They'll be like pulsing, they look alive. There's some that are like dead or shattered or whatever. If you had to choose one healer between Priest and Pally and Shaman for Raid and Mythic, Priest. Easy. Easy, easy. Yeah, I think Shaman's kind of boring as well, Edward. I'm with you on that one. I did do Prez keys earlier, yep. I've got my VODs on YouTube if you wanted to check those out. Our druid's born in me. It's so damn powerful. You don't really need work. Just keep on pushing up the keys until you have to work. That's the best part. That's the best part. First world healer problem. I know, seriously. Seriously. And portals? Not in this character. I guess, are they account wide? Let's see, bio real quick. Alright. Let me run to the bathroom real quick. Let me run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll get the treadmill set up. Be right back. Alrighty. Thanks for the patience. Often you beacon of protection and sacrifice? Constantly. In high keys, like all the time. Because the thing is, in a lot of high level content, BOP, Blessing of Protection, is gonna give immunity to physical attacks, and it can also be used on bleeds and remove the bleeds entirely. So there's like an insane amount of utility. You can also run it where it gives damage reduction from any type of attack. It's a talent called Echoing Blessings, and that gives another like 10 or 15% DR to it. So from anything. So if you're on an all magic boss fight, you could basically just send it. Come on. You could just send Blessing of Protection with that talent and just give a bunch of damage reduction to your teammates. Alright, let's start our walk. Alrighty. How you doing, Sab? Henbo, thank you for the 10 months. Yeah. / ready check. There you go. Yeah, Bop's got a long cooldown, but anytime that you have like, I call it like split pressure, where you have multiple different people taking heavy damage at once, you take one of them out of the equation, you're sitting pretty. Yeah, here's the talent tree.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Making the move to a healer, let's go.
5, 4,
Oh, what are you playing as, Seb?
2, 1.
Don't know yet? Ooh. Might I interest you in a priest?
How wonderful. It has been quite some time since the Academy has...
Well, it seems like things are indeed. Come with us. It should only take a moment to set up for a new lesson.
These lashers must have grown wild while we were away.
Like in this situation, I'm just gonna bot Michaels.
Clear them out while we rearrange.
You can go crazy style on it. Toss Dark Elf, sword. Disc, Prez, and plus Fatum is your big three. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, now we just spam Holy Light.
We are just about... Wait. Itchy strike.
Best healer that can carry a raid group struggling in heals. Probably Mistweaver right now.
This is your...
You'll have a lot more frequent, consistent damage.
Please, help us, new students.
That's the thing. Too often people will like hold an ability like Bop or Sack or something like that for a specific moment. When like the most important pull of a dungeon is the one you're on. A lot of times I feel like people are too worried about like what the next pull might bring, what the next pull could possibly bring, and not enough on just like, you have those resources, just send them, you know? A lot of times people get like way less uses of abilities than they intended to. You know, they look at the entire scope of all the dungeon and they're like, wow, I used an ability 3 times that I could have used a dozen, you know? Yeah. I've had a lot of Oracle Holy Priest questions today. Yeah, I played it before and it's just worse than Archon. Saving for a rainy day creates rainy days. That's right. That's right. Yeah, just ripping some HPAL keys. My pally is 253. So we're just chilling with some 10s. Feather on Holy Pally? Just got a myth one. Oh, at first I thought you meant the priest feather. Got a myth one for your vault. Feels so irrelevant. Yeah, dungeon trinkets in general are not that great. They really, really want you to raid. Oh, Sebastian. Chilling, my dude. It is alt day. Worked on my prez earlier, doing pally now. Would love to see you play Lightsmith on a 10 sometime. Well, you're in luck, because that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Perfect time.
18 finally.
Oh, what a Fattori. He's all grown up. Thank you for the 18 months, dude. What's different with Lightsmith? You throw out weapons. And you do need to track. After this, someone please remind me to set up my weapon tracking. I'm not setting up. I don't see my weapons because I haven't set it up properly. It'll take like 2 seconds though. But when your weapons expire, they give you infusion procs. And so you can play around that by seeing when they expire to know that you're getting infusion of light procs and then adjust your gameplay around it. It's really good. You're all good, Molesy. Yep. I mean, what is it? VDH was like meta forever and ever prop, so, you know, when the tank isn't meta, you're going to see a lot more people talking down on it. I can see bleed stacks, yeah. You can see the bleed stacks right there. He's got 4 stacks. I just didn't set up the aura for tracking my weapons. That's just something I can fix. A lot of people have so few abilities in raid. They did a lot of pruning. Some classes got like appropriate pruning where there were other abilities you'd press, but they barely had a reason for them. But some people got over pruned for sure. Yeah, it should be in my TikTok bio, Jess. Yeah, I thought I also had the blacklist going for... I thought I also had the blacklist here. But apparently not. Apparently not. Oh my god, I see what I'm doing. Does that work? I think that works. Huh. What's unending? Is that the overheal? No. What is it, Quinn? I don't remember all the talents off the top of my head. What buff does veneration need? Probably just to make some massive absorbs. Yeah, it does, Peta. Anytime I need to do like moderate amounts of healing or something like that, low to moderate, I'll always be using Holy Shock. But I mean, as you can see in this situation, there's no damage going out right now. So now as the damage does start stacking up, then I'm using shocks on allies. Avenger Crusader trolling an M+. I don't think it matters in like 10s, but I think for higher keys, yeah. Because like you just don't do enough healing out of your Crusader Strike casts. Yeah, you want to do winds first and then the fire, because the fire activates pulsing damage, and so you don't want to spend that much time taking that damage if you can help it. H probably is counted as a melee, but you could I could play in the back. I could just play from here if I wanted to. Your positioning matters for your mastery, because you heal people for more when you are close to them or your beacons are close to them. I wonder if I can do this. Yeah, that'll do. When you use freedom, there's a lot of snare effects or roots in the game. So there's not really any uses, I don't think, for here. But if somebody gets picked up by the gargoyle, you can freedom that. In Mizara Caverns, there's a mini boss that throws a player onto a ritual stone, basically. You can freedom that. Seed of the Triumvirate, you have subjugator mobs at the beginning of the dungeon, the first room that put those circles on players. You can freedom that. Anytime there's like a slow. Yeah. Freedom the affix as well, that's true. Yeah, this week's affix, you can just freedom. You can then run unbound freedom. So you can freedom Michaels, removes it from him. Yeah. If you run it Dander's frames, make sure you change your aura filter setting. It's a menu that you can change. Change that window to direct API, and then make sure you have your debuffs turned on. That way you'll be able to see what's going down. Yep. Healer balance is pretty good. Like every healer has been doing 18s. I think it's still like Druid and even Shaman on top. There's actually like really good variety. Fist fight another healer, who would it be and why? I don't think you're really gonna see any WoW players fist fighting each other. Or it's gonna be like one of the worst fist fights you've ever seen in your life. I would fight Froob, and you guys don't even know who that is, but he is the shaman that left my guild during jailer progression and fucked us all over. Okay, so he got into a fight with our tank, and our tank didn't want to back down, and they kind of just started fighting each other. And it resulted in Froob leaving, and we had to bring a new healer in. 300 attempts into the jailer. So no flame to the new healer we brought in, because guess what? You're not learning a fight that people have 300 attempts on very quickly. So that's my pick. Yeah, fuck that guy. We would have finished probably world top 20. And we ended up falling to like world 40 or something like that. It was bad. It was really bad. And that's the only time in 10 years of cutting edge WoW rating that I've ever had somebody do something so selfish like that. I've had people I played with who I thought were total assholes, but they never did something like that. When you sign up for the team, you're there for, what do they call it? The duration?
Accidentally overloaded
Yeah, you're there for the duration.
element and created a powerful
You better be playing the game.
Maximus that quickly started to wreak havoc.
Why are you not showing? Baby, are you the one? Figure it out. Who was the instigator? He was. He was definitely the instigator. Because, like, it was a situation where the tanks could have positioned better. The tanks could have positioned better, but it was also a situation where you could thug it out. Like, you could say, okay, if I know the tanks are here, it's kind of not great for the rest of the raid, but also, you could still deal with it. It is totally, like, 100% you could play around it. And a lot of us were already in a position to play around it. And it was okay. Because you know how position can be, like sometimes a tank positioning can be worse for the tank but better for the raid group. It was one of those situations. And it was like, okay, yeah, it'd be nice, but we don't need it to be perfect. You could have just sucked it up, played better, and been fine. How's Pally healing this season? Really good in keys. Not so good in raids. Yeah. Remind me after this, Mole. Remind me after. Or you could just, like, make a clip or something. Yeah, Ardra is really good. I think healer balance in general is actually really good. Healer balance in general is really good. Every healer is able to do, like, 18s. That's a pretty damn good spot. I think a big problem with Pally is that they don't do any, like, passive output. They don't really do much spew output. And their most powerful spells also overheal a lot. But the healers that are all doing really good, Disc Priest, Mistweaver, Resto Druid, Prez, they also do, like, really good passive healing, or they have, like, really powerful hots. And those are all really, really strong right now. You know, when you kind of just spew lots of constant output over, you know, 20, 30-second duration, well, that's how a lot of the damaging effects are lasting. That's how long they're constantly lasting. So you have this high efficiency, low quality heal. And then you have Pally with, like, a big sledgehammer of heal. And they don't really get to take advantage of it because they're competing against a lot of ticking healing. You know? Get yelled at by being Farseer and a 13. They said it should be Totemic. I just ignore them. Farseer and Totemic are both doing around the same level of keys. There might be, like, one key level difference. With spew output, when you're doing, like, a lot of healing, but for, like, low quality. You know, you're putting up, like, little hots or little healing effects that there's high frequency of them. You know, there's a lot of them. And it's true, Pally has always been the spot healer. So that's the thing, is, like, I don't think it's a bad thing of how Pally's healing profile is, but a lot of the passive healing was really out of control in beta, and it feels like it's popping up again, where the specs that could just put up a bunch of hots, put up a bunch of ticking healing, do extremely well, and the healers that are doing a lot of, like, direct healing or focused healing into certain targets, bigger, higher quality heals that are slower, are also just getting gapped. They're more likely to overheal, and as a result, their output isn't as effective. This is a fat holy light. Will I ever cast for Echo if they pay me enough? It's not really a question of money. I've just cast the last 7 races with Liquid. And, you know, they treat me great, and most of my friends are there, kind of thing. So, that's kind of how it is. Yo, Shelzy, thank you for the new sub. But I mean, I've met, like, I think, like, all the Echo guys over the years, in one way or another. I did a podcast. I did their like echo chamber podcast one time. So I certainly don't have any beef. I'm using Dander's frames. Yeah, using Dander's frames. Nice being in groups with people who don't try to hug the AoE. Yeah. I use Platinator. Yeah. Shaman, played Shaman in War Within. Loving a Pally. It's only 25, but I'm loving it. Yeah. That's the thing. I feel like Pally plays well in dungeons. I wish they still had Empyrean Legacy. There was like a really fun Lightsmith Empyrean Legacy setup, but I still enjoy it. Well, that's that 100%. That's the biggest thing, Sam. Like, you know, the Super Bowl in the NFL isn't just prestigious because one team won a game. It's they won a game against all of the best teams. You know, it's single elimination. You lose, you're out. And I think that's where like Race to World First is a huge competition and like a really interesting competition because you have some extremely insane players. And as much as people want to be like, oh man, I can't believe this team lost and blah blah blah, like it's so fucking difficult. It is so difficult and so much work to build up a team to world first quality. It's so tough when people are like, oh, they're so bad, I can't believe it. I got another whistle. Let's go. I am doing some coaching. Track weapons. Thank you, Mede. Oh, man. Yeah, why are we not showing? You might be hidden behind something. You might be hidden behind something. There it is. Oh, I just needed to end the dungeon. Just needed to end the dungeon. Yo, can I have that whistle? Ah, afraid not, champ. Yeah. Liquid is way more sympathetic. As an EU player, I generally hope they win every world first. I do have a vertical profile. Yep. Exclamation mark UI Silk. Best healer for first time raid healing. Keys and Shaman. I think what did I read? Oh, first time raid healing. Shaman. Yeah, Shaman's good for it. What up, drug test? Let's see. Sky, MT, AA again. Let's see, Sky or MT? Okay. Jeez. How about Sky Reach? Yeah. That decides it for us. Makes it nice and easy. Recommend your next healer for 3K. Echo or Liquid call it quits. Would there even be a world first? They need each other? I think they do. They do indeed. Alright, you said 244. Let's see some context.
And people are obviously tired. That could be.
I don't know if I can play this because it has music going on. Let's see.
One of the, things that could have caused it, right?
It doesn't work that way, Meng. It's different channels.
How do we minimize those mistakes? Not being able to. Yeah, to just get the kill. How do you fix not getting low percentage wipes? How do you fix that? I mean, it's hard to like really pinpoint what to do about it. You know what I mean?
Listen to Gingy. Oh shit, we got a bunch of signups.
Let's see. The debate about global reach. Do you think it makes the race unfair? I mean, it's just like with any competition.
Go Skyreach.
You wanna play under the like the same rules, the same everything. That's what competition is, right? No one has an advantage or disadvantage. Like everyone's just playing the same game. That's all you want. I'm sorry, the music event.
I'm not seeing any clip, Molsey.
When you play an NA, it's a lot of resources to move everything over. There is the split issue too, right? That's one thing we have an advantage over. Is that European players are like on average better than NA players.
Oh, here it is.
So Liquid has a bit more struggles in splits because their helpers are not as good as the European ones.
At a disadvantage.
There's also the ping issues, having people that lives in EU play with like higher ping as well. I mean, there's just a lot of like problems with it.
I don't know. The context of what he's saying is that on average EU players are better, and I think that's mostly true. If you're looking at like just the raw average of players or something like that, Gingy's not talking about like Liquid or worse players because they're American. When I played in EU for 2 years, if I was like, yo, who wants to play WoW at noon on a weekday, I'd get a bunch of people on EU. You try to do that on an NA, it was like, nope. Nothing to do in cold months and just game. Yeah. The loot council thing at the end, it was a details plugin. Yeah, it was a details plugin. Now, Gingy's not saying it as like, you guys suck, EU dominant, blah, blah, blah. That's not what he's saying at all. All right. Yeah, kind of a nothing burger. Kind of a nothing burger.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Is what up to date? I'm still gearing my Pally drug test. Yeah,
4,
I've been playing my
2, 1.
my priest a bunch. It works at least for me. I assume it's updated. They just asked me what I was using. Yeah. You have more player base, more people trying higher difficulty stuff, which helps the splits. Yeah, like that's literally all he's saying. Just a nothing burger. How about China? Wow, above both EU and NA. China's got some cool stuff. I'm a little jealous. China's getting some special, the Titan Forge realms. Yeah. I wish this didn't have an execute playstyle too, man. I wish. It's good in this tier, but I feel like you're gonna hit a point where it's not good and it's not gonna feel good. Yeah, I mean you can beacon the tank. Look, I'm sharing space with DK and Demon Hunter. Those guys are fine. I don't know, I'm doing it at 10. I don't think it matters what I'm beaconing at all. Couldn't tell if the distro was a guide or a rant. Sounds great. Sounds like people can take it multiple ways. Yeah. Sometimes I do, Botany. What are my PC specs? Nah, I didn't. Polysac, what's going on? Oh yeah, let me download mini CC after this. I should do that. I should do that. Needlium, thank you for the 13 months. Best combo of trinkets for M+. Oh, that is a good question. I think it's like Gaze the Allseer. Not Ribbon, not Veilgors. I'm actually not sure what the other Biss one would be. Current plus affix on damage frames is an icon. You'd have to like turn off your healing absorbs because it does both at once. It does both at once. Monk's not that hard. I don't think any healer is like rocket science at this point. Litany's alright. I don't feel like it feels that effective. I have it in my Twitch chat, Corey. Sorry. I put it up like I literally just put up the command a second ago. No! No! Oh, there it is. Well, now that I'm dead, I can paste it in chat for you. Tragic. Yo, Gummy Bar, thank you for the 26 months. Hate to see it, man.
Overcome this trial. Win my
Sacred Weapon's still a secret? I fixed it, and then they're not showing. I don't know. I don't know. Weird they buffed direct healing for priests like Flash Shield Shadowmen's, which kind of contradicts the whole playstyle this should resemble. Like outside of Execute or Ava, I have to resolve to power heal through stuff, getting fast doesn't feel good. I agree. I agree. Too much of your power is weighted towards that Execute, and when you don't have an Execute present, you just start running out of options. But the thing with adding like Shadowmend and adding what you would call like out of character healing is mainly because of M+. Because when you have to balance around M+, you need to give everybody tools to deal with, you know, everything that a dungeon throws at you. And so as a result, it does make healers less unique, because when you were able to play, when you were only playing in raiding, well, it didn't matter if some specs had no spot healing, you would just bring a healer that did, and then you would be fine. So in a lot of ways, there has been a lot more homogenization for how healing works because of M+. But that's also the, you know, the player-based demand. You make an M+ system, and you want to be able to effectively heal, you know? What do you expect? You could go how it was in like BFA or Legion, you know, or just certain healers could not heal content over like 10s and 12s. Use a Corsair, was it a Night Sword? Yeah, it's just got 2 buttons on the side. Since I click cast with a lot of my binds for healing, I don't really need to have an MMO mouse. Don't really need it. Yeah, I usually just only flash when I have a Infusion of Light proc. Usually. Where's beams? I'm sure it just takes some getting used to. For a while, I've wanted to set up those like game pads, see if that like helps with my movement or anything like that. But then I just move on to something else. All right, hang on. They don't need me for this bull, surely. Maybe this will fix it though. Maybe. Oh, bubble. Blind.
Overcome this trial. Win my favor.
Weapon? Why are we hidden? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like a Tartarus. I was watching Meg play with it before. And when you have like the little like thumb joystick to move your character around, I thought that was pretty interesting. Which hero talents to play as a starting H-Pal? I would just play Lightsmith at this point. If you're focusing on M+. I mean, if you're doing both, then you can just play Herald. There's not as much differences like you might think about it. It's not that really that rocket sciencey. You basically are just like playing the same class play style or spec play style, and then you just, oh, I play with weapons or I don't play with weapons. Wish they would went another route as it's not even only spot healing instead of applying atonement to all and blast damage to heal, even only 2 or 3 as we did in War Within. It's now required to direct heal them and attend to them because trying to heal groups through through atonement alone isn't going to do it. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you look at War Within, right? And it felt like there were a lot of moments where you could just naturally heal through your atonement, and now you can't. And I think that's pretty dissatisfying. At least I know it is for me. Ugh. And I also know it doesn't even have to be this way because we saw in beta that it didn't have to be that way. So. Season X back compared to the previous one. I like this M+ season a lot. I like this season a lot. I am kind of disappointed in like the prey system and some of like the world activity type stuff. Also, it was kind of weird for them to make leveling hard this time around. Like, I'm fine if they did that on the first character, but on like future characters, I feel like that Warbound bonus has to be a lot better. If that's what they wanted to do.
Overcome this trial. Win my favor.
But I think a lot of my criticism is like, Blizzard just has been playing it pretty safe for a while. And I really wish they would be a lot more aggressive with like endgame systems or trying new things, especially in the second season of an expansion. I like the concept of Prey. I like having some kind of world activity that's going to help me gear my character. That's pretty chill. But the actual like content itself right now, I think is pretty boring. So I don't want them to give up on Prey's entirely, but the current version is like, eh. And that's naturally kind of what happens though. Whenever you have players looking for like the most optimal way to do something, you know, there's gonna be those moments where like, oh, the most optimal way is like the most boring stuff ever, but people are still gonna do it. They're still gonna do it. Zaltath heal affix, you run double freedom somebody, dispel somebody else. Hopefully the last 2 people can remove it from themselves if they're not bums. So I think healing's a lot of fun, LK. How you been, bro? I think there's a lot more of what I would call like healable damage. There's a lot of times where like big damage goes out, but it doesn't one-shot you, so you can actually like heal through it and deal with it. 10s I think are like really easy, and so that makes it a lot easier to just have a steady on-ramp, I guess, for getting into the game. When they made 10s like stupid hard at the beginning of War Within, that was a little rough. I think what's missing right now, though, is an incentive to go higher than 12s. That's my thing right now. Oh, there's a lot of dispels. That's fair criticism, because there is a lot of dispels. The positive that I have to that, though, is that at least we have a lot less nasty poisons and diseases. Like, we still have poisons and diseases, but when I go into a dungeon on my priest and I don't have a poison dispel, it's not really the end of the world. But at previous expansions, if you didn't bring a poison dispel to a dungeon, you just died. That was the worst ever. Yeah, Freedom cleanses this Altath Absorb, because it's a snare. So see, I'm going to put it on the DK. It gets applied to everybody but us. And everybody else cleanse it off themselves. Did I miss Glimmerden? Yeah. Oh shit. There he goes. And he's back. I think they changed it to be a snare this expansion. Pretty sure. Yeah. HP has some big, hard-hitting abilities now. You hit like a freight train, but you're slow. I have very low haste. This guy's not that geared. He's like M0 level geared. Yeah, download mini CC. True. Wait. Usable gear? Need shoulders? Do you need? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Might be worth. Mr. Hexer, do you need? Can't even inspect him now. Upgrade for you next week, dang. Alright. Why are my armaments not appearing? See, now they appear. Just playing games with me. Alright, Caverns. I was playing disc yesterday. I gotta get some alt keys done. That's right, big pally time. Let's see. Is it mini CC? Some guildies, some viewers. Party trinkets, important spell icons, healers in CC, track friendly cooldowns. State of Age Pal, it's really fun in M+. In raids, though, it's rough. Mainly because like a lot of the other healers just like spew healing more easily. Alright, this needs to get opened up. Enable in dungeons. These are some insane icon sizes. Oh, this is CC, I see. Friendly cooldowns. We think 90. Yeah, it should be good. Underwhelming at low eye level, love it at M+. Yeah. Yo, Fur, thank you for the prime. The nice thing is, like, stuff starts speeding up. As things start speeding up. Oh, he said BRB 1 minute and said he had to go. Okay. Huh. Let's get another DPS in. Zara M+, 10.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Gavin, thank you for the 8 months. Shock for a healer who last played a BFA, be kind of business as usual. It's been like 6 years, 8 years. It'll take some getting used to. More DPS, and then you have like the absorbs from like your weapons and stuff too. It's all really nice. Why is this not showing? All right.
Deserve it.
Yo, MT, they were the 10 months, big dog. Appreciate you, man. Holy armaments. Bottom right. Left. There we go. Now you better show up. There we go. Now we're cooking. Oh, lordy. Let's do it. Doing great, B-words. Oh yeah, MT, what team are you playing on now? When's your next when's your next Pro League day? Is there an interrupt tracker to this as well? Yeah. What's your squad right now? Because you're on Moist before, right? Turn off all these alerts. CC important spells and nameplates. We'll see what this is gonna bring. Healer in CC. What is this? Is this a kick tracker? Yeah, I don't think it's like perfectly accurate. I don't think it's perfectly accurate. Ice Veins and Rio points Lightsmith or M+. Wow, it's his Herald. I think they're both on like a similar level, but Lightsmith's gonna deal a little bit more damage and give you some absorbs for safety. But when they're like neck and neck, he might just be offering like I guess the easier version. I don't know.
Five, four, three.
Yeah, MT, you're still competing in Apex, right? Thought I saw you playing the other day. Huge thanks for the effort you're putting in your YouTube videos. Been a big help getting me back on track in M+, picking the healing class up. Let's go, boss. Glad to hear it. I got you. Set that coach whistle. Set up some beacons. Oh my god, that's tough. I do not like seeing that. Kaiserless, thank you for the new subs. The Linder, thank you for the two months. Yeah, Lightsmith for M+. I don't know why the text-to-speech is not rolling here. But yeah, Lightsmith. Yes, indeed. Amox, how you doing? Mini CC auras off. None of that. None of that. Oof. Yeah, I'll make another guide for Lightsmith. I think the way it's gone right now is like Harold has done 18s or 19s, and then I think Lightsmith's done 19s and is working on 20s, something like that. Like, they're both good. They're both good. Seems like a very slight advantage. I have the wrong MT? Oh, shit. Wait, I thought I talked to you about this. You sure? Oh my god, it must be another... It is a different MT. There's a pro Apex player named MT. Wait a minute. No, I see your chat history. What are you doing pulling my leg? Yeah. Was in Moist Esports, but due to visa issues, it broke up. Still ended up competing and called ourselves Not Moist. What are you doing throwing me off?
Overcome this trial. Win my favor.
You cannot be gaslighting me. You cannot be gaslighting me. Chat history exists. He doesn't want the attention of being a pro Apex player. In the middle of Pro League season playing World of Warcraft. I haven't gotten my monk ready yet. I gotta get working on it. I got home from race this week, so we'll start working on alts more. Today is Present Pally Day. It looks fun. I haven't had time to play much Apex. I've been playing Rivals. Which, like, I don't understand why every single time I rank up in Rivals, you know how it gives you a little bit of extra points whenever you hit another level? I hit Celestial 2 the other day, and then the next 2 straight games, my teammates could not rub 2 brain cells between them. But then the third game, all my teammates are super coordinated, and also my opponent's team is super coordinated, and I'm having the sweatiest game of my life. We barely won. It's so strange. It feels like every single time I get promoted, though, they give you the bots. Press Guide's coming soon. Yeah, Press Guide's coming soon. I'm trying to find out how many, like, raid tips to add. Because, like, I've cleared Heroic and done a couple of Mythic bosses as Prez. but I would not call myself an expert for raiding. So I'll probably have like a couple limited tips and stuff that I'm like confident about, but I'll just focus it mainly on M+. You always got the boss in your promos. Yep. Every time, man. That's how they optimize their matchmaking or something. I don't know. It's wild when you win some games just because somebody like ulted really, really poorly on the other team. You're like sweating, and that's how the game went. It was like we were like barely winning a fight or like barely staying ahead of them, and then back to back one of their supports just like rando ulted for like no reason, and then that like helped us win the fights. Super, super strange. Yeah, I don't know why in combat my weapons are just not showing up. Super strange.
Overcome this trial.
Have a freedom. In 5 seconds. Just have to spell.
Chick dead, chick dead, chick dead.
See, now it just doesn't show. What is going on? Kamikaze, thank you for the 3 months. Oh my gosh. Alright, alright. Reload fast. There we go. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully this will work. It's still hidden. Sleeping through 10s to 250. Not enough damage. But we're gonna probably find some here, I would imagine. Have a stun. Have a stun in these trying times. Here I gotta watch for Roxal's root. We're gonna freedom that every time. This is where being able to see the names over the nameplates is gonna help a lot. He's gonna rip the Invoke Shadow. Someone's getting teleported up there. It's the mage. We freedom him. Easy. I don't trust people with earpieces. Well, I'm also a healer. You shouldn't trust those either. Do we have it? Oh, we do. Arcane Torrent. Nah, I'm using Dander's frames. I don't know if grid has changed at all, but it used to be like the worst interface I'd ever seen. And I used Voodoo back in the day. And I was like, nope, not for me. But yeah, I've been using Dander's frames. We're kind of just waiting for something to happen with Cell. But I like how Dander's frames works. This is the first time I've had like an aura set up. I just can't see though. It's really strange. Mm. Alright, while they dispel everything, I got Aura Mastery. Still the worst, but it's really CPU efficient. That makes sense. I don't know, I think Dander's Frames like just had an update that improved a lot of its FPS though. At least I hope that's what happened. Ryzen Zen 6 leaks. What's that? Oh, it's new CPU? Ooh. Is it gonna be better than... Yeah, is it gonna be better than the X3Ds? Damn, man, I just got a new computer last year. Zen 6 X3D sounds insane. Oh, that owns. Well, hopefully that's gonna mean that the 9850 or 9800 X3D, I guess the one, is gonna drop in price then for other people. But I don't know, because there's such like a race for hardware right now. It's like hardware and energy are like such bottlenecks for a lot of companies right now. It's all the AI stuff going on. The push Echo needs since they're sponsored by AMD. It's nuts that they got sponsored by AMD, man. That owns. I guess they can't really do that with Alienware because I think Alienware uses Intel. That's still a huge, huge sponsor. Hope for everything to drop. Yeah, I heard something about how a lot of the hardware these AI companies have is just not even like being used, and it's sitting on the shelves empty because they just don't have the electricity. They don't have the energy to run it. So it makes me wonder if there's going to be like a demand shock or drop or something like that if the energy needs are not able to be caught up or something. Or where the AI companies bought haven't been produced. Yeah. That too. I thought it was something I read about like Google, I want to say, where they just had a bunch of hardware that like they just could not put into use because the data centers or the energy for the data centers or whatever it wasn't there. Yeah, I'll pull it up, Zool. Do they already have like benchmarking and stuff? I love it when everyone removes their debuff. Just spec details. I love it when they are just throwing the product at like Linus Tech Tips or the other content creators about tech stuff, and they're like, all right, just run your own specifications. Like, just run your own tests. A little double? A little double? Ah, we just totally light one time. Best healer right now? And Keys, I think Druid's still on top, but I think Pally is not that far behind. I think every healer has done at least 18, so healer balance is actually really, really good. Yo, Sauce! Thanks so much for the new sub, man. Wait for it, wait for it. It's gonna sound like the weekly cringe message, but damn the culture, reading books, can talk about space exploration, CPUs, whatever off-spec subject, it's respect. Hey, you bet, dude. Yeah, man. There's always so much going on. Yeah. Get tanks balanced the same way? Dude, it's ridiculous, Kirk. Yeah. It's so weird that every healer is doing 18s, and I think that's like a really good benchmark for healer balance. And then you look at LFG, and it's just Brewmaster all the way down. Yeah. Oh, Michael said I install UPSs for data centers. I can't make them fast enough. That's insane. Yo, what up, unknown? I switched to Lightsmith. Does a bit more damage. Gives you the shields. Playstyle basically remains the same otherwise. Yeah. Basically remains the same otherwise. And plus, to be better if having enough DPS to kill stuff is more the limiting factor than tanks getting one shot. Yeah. What drives me crazy about WoW and tanking is that very rarely are tanks more healable with the damage they take. And that's actually something I think Fellowship does a pretty good job of. Is like tanks can have like steadier amounts of damage intake and you can actually like heal them through a lot of pressure in Fellowship. But then when you start doing that in WoW, they just kind of hit a point where they get one shot and they just explode. You know? And it's like, well, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do about that. What's Brew have that others don't? Big FU damage and stagger. You know? Big stagger. Healer's not Rusted Druid, good for pugging. Shaman, yep, like Todik said. That's a good one. No healer is bad. No healer is bad in keeps. If every healer is doing 18s, no healer is bad, realistically. No healers gives you as unique of a pug experience as Prez. Everyone should try it. I didn't realize. I didn't realize I had the circle on me. He kept chasing me down. I like Pally. I like Priest. I think I'll enjoy Monk a lot. Looks like what people are doing is really good. I just haven't really had time to do it yet. I enjoyed Monk a lot in beta. Monk was a lot of fun in beta. Now that I'm back from race, I'll have some time to work on all the tunes. I might try to set up like a weekend alt run or something like that. We'll see. Because raid right now is like so absurdly good for gearing. They like really want to push people to raid a lot, so I might have to oblige. Oh, we're missing percent. Some others have to work harder for the same results. That's always going to be true. You're correct. I think that's just kind of inevitable. Yeah. Yeah, one sec, Gulas. What you got to do with seeing debuffs now is you got to go down to your aura filter tab and then click on direct API. And then here's the debuff settings that I have on, just all debuffs. Because unfortunately, Blizzard kind of forced you into an all or nothing situation where you got to see like basically everything or basically nothing. So just set it to direct API, set it to all debuffs, and you should be good. You can go to the aura blacklist, and then you can blacklist all this stuff. I guess you could blacklist buffs if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend that. And that'll take off a couple of those things, like Bloodlust. But you'll still see, like the Battle Res one. What do we get? We get loot? A vessel. Nice. This week again, relearning Renewing Mist, Kick, Vivify caster style. Notice that it develops a bigger part of the kit with the Apex. Before when I played, you only cast it in the Ox Proceeded. Yeah, you're more aggressive with it, especially in dungeons. I don't think you're running with the Apex talent anymore. I think you're like aggressively casting Envelop, extending it with Rising Mist, and then just smashing a lot of Shayloon's Gift to heal. Oh yeah, let's see the cash. No idea, Sophie. No idea. All right, Emissary of War. Bags full. Bags full. Come on. We got a ribbon. All right, not bad, not bad. Not bad. We take those. Do I get heart palpitations walking in gaming? Nah. It's good for you, man. It's good for you. See Holy Pally buffs in the near future? I hope. I don't know what kind of changes they're gonna make. I got no idea. Let me see. For a one-hander, do I still need 80 myth crests? Oh my god, I do. Page Valley does need a class designer. Yeah, who actually plays it. That would be nice. I want them to bring back Empyrean Legacy. I feel like that would fix a lot of problems. So, Priest, Chase. Play Priest. Very good. Without mist orbs? You mean like stacks of the clouds and stuff, Stabby? Yeah, you could cast Shayloons without cloud stacks. They buffed it. They made it stronger when you don't have the when you don't have clouds now. I use Platinator, Cruzy. Yep. I use Platinator.
Treat my wares with care.
What's the reason playing Lightsmith? You have absorbs out of your Holy Bulwark, which is just strong. There's deficient. It's another way of like isolating damage or reducing damage on one person so you can heal other people. That's probably one of like the biggest things. And also you just do a lot of damage. Your damage is just good. It's just straight up good. Because you're basically playing the exact same spec talents. Yeah, you bet, Dark Elf. GG's, man. Yeah, you're basically playing like the exact same spec talents. So the difference is literally just like Lightsmith versus Herald, you know? Yeah, it's good absorb. It's consistent. Also, whenever your armaments fade, you gain infusion, which is really, really nice. Yeah, makes it nice and easy. And let's bit talents, yeah. Yeah, it's literally like the same Herald talents for your spec. It's literally like the same ones there. They play Pally after Cataclysm, pretty much newbie about it. Yeah, I got a video guide on my YouTube about it. It goes over Herald, but again, the only difference would be you throw out your shields and your swords instead of having Eternal Flame. Yeah. What's the damage stack with the armaments and AUG buff? I don't think they're related because the weapon is like bonus damage of its own. It's not like a damage buff the way AUG is. AUG like increases primary stat or gives you crit, whereas this is like your spells deal extra holy damage. So I don't think any of that is like buffed or changed or messed around with AUG or any of that kind of stuff. I don't think you have to worry about it. Like from what I read, you could put the Sacred Weapon on like the tank and it would still do the same amount of damage as like a DPS, as long as, you know, they're attacking mobs. Yeah. Yeah, you always use Word of Glory for healing. So Paladin in Dungeons uses Word of Glory for healing, does not use Light of Dawn at all. They don't use Light of Dawn at all. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you use Light of Dawn in raids, but there's no need to use it at all in keys. It's just too weak. Does the weapon work with pets? I don't think I've ever tried to cast it on a pet. Yeah, I use Dander's frames for healing. I don't use Healbot. I used Healbot like a dozen years ago. I went from Healbot to Voodoo to Cell to Dander's frames. That was my journey. Yo, grass chili. Congrats, congrats. Yeah, you don't have to like overcomplicate the weapon or anything along those lines. Because when you like toss out your weapon, you have the value out of Tempered in Battle, where you or your ally wield a bulwark and you're healed above max HP. You transfer that overheal to the other person. That's kind of light. And then when you or your ally holding a weapon, a sword, drop below 40, you redistribute your health. So like you have a little bit of value there, but it's nothing insane. So yeah, you can use my UI for other specs and other roles and stuff. A lot of people do. Lots and lots of people do. Yeah, glad to hear it, Calb. Appreciate it, dude. Maybe make Light of Dawn worth casting at any point outside the raid. Well, when they made Empyrean Legacy do more Light of Dawn healing, it did 125% Light of Dawn healing instead of 30% of a Light of Dawn's healing. When it did a better Light of Dawn, it actually felt insane because you're splashing a ton of healing. It was like very, very helpful. But they realized that this one button was miles better than everything else around here, and they're like, we can't have that. But it was also the enabler to use lots of judgments. So what can you do? Turns out your spenders feel a lot better when you cast two of them at once. And people kind of liked that. People kind of liked that a lot. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like a bit of fun detected and a bit of, I don't know, just nonsense. Yep, and now your spenders feel bad. Really, really bad. Niv, thank you for the new sub. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a weird world. All right, gamers. I got some big keys done. We're halfway through clearing our 10s on our Perez and our Pally. So I'm going to chill. I'm going to work on some videos because I got to get back on board with those. And I probably no stream tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe a rare chance. But be sure to follow the stream and everything like that if you haven't already. I will definitely... When will I definitely be back? Probably like 2 Central on Monday. I got some appointments in the morning. But probably around like 2 Central on Monday we'll be back. Yeah, it is, Bryce. Yeah, you bet, Nymph. It's going to be nice just to be able to chill after a race. Let me tell you. It's going to be chill. Okay, if you need any troubleshooting for the UI, it's also in the Discord as well. Love you. Bye, Michaels. GG's, guys. Thanks for all the love today. Like I said, stream back Monday afternoon, and then we'll be back on our usual noon Central schedule on Tuesday, all right? Take it easy.